Hi guys, welcome back to Nasidyanka, the channel where I talk about Bulgarian history, culture, tradition, and faith. This is part 3 of a video that I started while traveling around, going places in nature and running an experiment here, but my experiment ran short after my last experience of being out there with the loud water and the waterfalls. So I decided to just come back in the car. I'm ready to go home, ready to start a long drive, but I'm determined to finish this whole narrative here. So this is part 3, referring to the snake city of Bulgaria, which dates from the year 8000 BC at least, but many researchers claim that it actually very easily may go back to 20,000 years ago. So if you haven't watched my channel, feel free to subscribe and check the previous videos that I have made. Like I said, I talk about Bulgarian culture and history as well as faith. My videos are super imperfect and absolutely simplistic, as you guys can see, because I don't care about perfectionism and I don't even have time for that. I do have a full-time job and this is as best as I can do so far, and this is just for recreation. It's my hobby, it is in my heart. I'm happy to be able to share what I know or what I research and I learn with other people around the world about my country, Bulgaria. So this here topic is about who was the ancient civilization that built the what they call sanctuary, but really we don't know if it's a city or a sanctuary or some kind of a structure that they call the snake city. And where, why, when, and how did it come from to begin with? So for the resources, always please do refer to my comment section, because this is stuff that I translate directly from documentaries and or articles. So the resource that I've pulled this information from, I am including in the comment section. So there exist many hypotheses referring to the possible answers of this question. Some are quite phantasmagorical. Others are rather esoteric. Some make more sense to some people, others make more sense to other people. By all means, some researchers date the age to the structures in the snake city back to 20,000 years ago, which directly leads to a connection to the ancient Atlantis civilization. Along the Bulgarian lands, researchers simply find more and more abundant evidence of this. For instance, Varna's Chalcolithic, or you guys would say in English Chalcolithic, golden treasure dates back to 6000 BC. Some say 5, but really it's like 5 to 6000 BC. That's called also the necropolis, and I have mentioned it in previous videos as well. It presents the excellent processing of golden metal. Archaeological research has documented that the civilization that produced it was basically used that particular technology that did not come out up until like thousands of years later. They speculate that the civilization was in that particular location also producing exceptionally high quality of processed golden artifacts for a period of 200 years, and then they suddenly disappeared, and no one can answer the reason why nor where did they go. But those same people possessed knowledge and skills in mathematics as well as geometry, so excellent in fact, which modern science ironically claims was first invented several thousand years after that ancient civilization. So if you guys can think about this, so modern scientists are teaching our children in modern schools that Pythagoras theorem and mathematical skills advanced at that kind of like higher level of knowledge popped up several thousand years after the most ancient gold treasure that was so worked on, so produced, that it's evident that that ancient civilization located in Varna, Bulgaria, my native city, basically already was acquainted with the Pythagoras theorem, already knew geometry and mathematical skills in order to create the patterns and the figures that they did. So let's think about this. If you want to check it out, again, I have created an earlier video, look back into my earlier videos on Varna's necropolis, or you can just Google it. Varna is spelled V-A-R-N-A, necropolis is spelled as N-E-K-R-O-P-O-L-I-S. So yeah, check it out. What is impressive about that 6000 BC Varna gold is precisely that those ancients applied technologies, like I said, advanced technologies. One specific example is a bowl that was made from ceramic material, which that ancient civilization was able to cover with gilded layer. They were able to gild it. On top of that, they produced it in such a, I don't know how to say, weather-lasting manner that the bowl has remained in its original presentation over several thousand years. I can see that there are people coming here, so I'll have to, sorry. Well, I apologize about this glitch. As you guys can see, I am still out in a public place and I'm hiding in my car here, but I do not want to be inconveniencing other people with my videoing here, nor do I, wish to be adding people who haven't given their, permission to be here, but they so happen to park next to me. Anyway, so yeah, so basically that's where I was talking about. This bowl has been so produced that it was gilded. It was made from ceramic, and it has made it in its original presentation, its original form, over thousands and thousands of years. It's that high of a quality. Archaeologists claim also that the Snake City was a sanctuary, but in reality, we do not know this fact to be for certain, to claim that. Other than we can believe there's speculation, but we can't claim that that's really so. We don't have enough evidence. It is a fact that those structures were built with, let's see how you guys would say, the word is nisha in Bulgarian. I think you guys would say dents. So like niches or alcoves or dents. So there are indentations in the structures. And this, by the way, is a fact, or like a presentation that is also frequently observed in other structures in Bulgaria. But nobody knows for certain why, nor who used them, nor like who made those. The same situation, or like mystery, refers to the site that's called Perperikon, and I created a recent video so you can look back a few episodes, and specifically I've named it in the title section Perperikon. It's P-E-R-P-E-R-I-K-O-N. As well as Tattoo. I haven't talked about this yet, but this is another site that's very ancient, exceptionally ancient in Bulgaria, and I will talk about it sometime in the future. These are places at the bottom that, kind of like at the basis, that remain a mystery. Important researchers affirm that the Snake City is an archaeological wealth on a worldly scale that's comparable to Stonehenge of Great Britain. The issue lays in the institutions that, as of lately, have been somewhat inactive in their work regarding like popularizing that, making the sites known to the public. It's interesting because in the video documentary that I watched, you can see people around here, they do refer to that phenomenon. In Bulgaria, for some reason, tourism is not as popularized worldwide yet. Well, hence my desire to partake in popularizing. I don't care about tourism as much, but at least, the truth about Bulgarian history, culture, tradition, and faith. Let's see. One more glitch, more people around here. I needed to pause. So all in all, I can say, just to begin wrapping up here, is that it kind of, it saddens me to think that there are even Bulgarians nowadays who mock the evidence and kind of display a lack of interest in our history. As a matter of fact, I have encountered, sadly, even Bulgarians who mock the fact that I wear Bulgarian traditional clothes. I have experienced a lot of much more positive kind of encounters with people in the West, whereas Bulgarians kind of stay away from me. But people in the West might stop me and ask me, about my culture, about tradition. It's a great starter of conversation, and people have been kind and caring. Of course, I'm not putting all Bulgarians under the same denominator, because there are many Bulgarians nowadays who are producing wonderful work. Clearly, I am translating many of their works here in order to bring this consciousness back up of the people. Many people mock the information by claiming that, the Snake City is not produced by humans, it's just some kind of natural phenomenon, like a natural formation. But researchers claim the other way around. They actually notice evidence in the way, human hand has touched that stone. What they notice is that our ancients used to use the natural slopes of the land, and then they would add their own structures and integrate them within the land. But you can definitely see how they have created the steps or the indentations, or there are many other places that I'll talk about in the future. I'm thinking about more in recent centuries. You can find in Bulgaria places in the caves where people lived, and you can see the etched beds and so forth. So that shouldn't even be a question. As far as I'm concerned, I am glad and happy, that I have this opportunity to talk about these things in just a very kind of easy and simple manner, and not stress too much about it. If anybody ever comes up with better videos, that would be great. That would be wonderful if we can have this information be spread out. It just doesn't make sense to me personally. Why would a country, a people, a nation be recognized as having the most ancient calendar in the entire world? Planet. I'm not talking about continent. I'm not talking about a couple of continents. I'm not talking about half of the planet. I'm talking about worldwide. This is the most accurate calendar that proto-Bulgarians, ancient Bulgarians have created, and yet we're not using it worldwide. Or why is it that we have, the Snake City, for example? Whether or not this really truly applies to it should be the correct appellation, I don't know, but that's what they call it. So if you Google it, you're going to find Snake City in Bulgaria, in the Rodopite mountains. But nevertheless, the point here is, why would we have this site that's, dated back to at least 8,000 BC? And many do, suggest that evidence points back to even 20,000 years ago. It's comparable, to all these mentioned mysteries and sites like Stonehenge, like Machu Picchu, and yet here we are. Nobody knows about it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody goes there to clean it, to present it to the world. It boggles my mind. I want to scratch my brain and ask why. And because I am an active person and I am kind of impatient and I just do, I don't wait. It really kind of begs scratching my brain to figure out this info. Anyway, if you guys have some suggestions, I would be glad to hear. But I'm gonna wrap this up here today. I appreciate you for your attention and your patience, and again for your encouragement. If you haven't subscribed and you're interested in more videos like that, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will continue to post as many as possible because this information is abundant. It's ceaseless. As a matter of fact, I feel overwhelmed to be true, I feel overwhelmed in terms of how I just can't catch up with, making this accessible to my friends, acquaintances, and other people that I don't know, like you guys, around the world. This channel is, I've mentioned before, and I'm gonna mention it here again, is purely for recreation and also following my heart. I do believe that the world should be, how can I say, should have access to correct information. I do present things that I care about very deeply. I have not changed my format to anything advanced. I am using just simple technology, and you can easily see that. And this in a way is a statement, because nasedyanka literally means to sit down and talk. It's a Bulgarian tradition where even the way I grew up, so in most recent years, old women would just sit around their houses. When I was a kid, we would sit in front of our houses in the bench or benches, and we would all eat sunflower seeds and talk, or work on some kind of a craft, crochet, knit socks, crochet some kind of I don't know, who knows, decoration for the house. So whatever your work is, you work on this, sing songs and talk. So clearly it's not a question about being perfect. It's not a question about being the perfect singer, the perfect presenter, it doesn't exist. As a matter of fact, I'm going to end it here so that you guys know this. So Bulgarians actually have a belief that, and this is from ancient time, coming from ancient generations, whenever we sew a clothing piece of article, whenever we knit something, or we weave, like aprons for example, our people would always leave something imperfect. So if they embroidered sleeves, if they embroidered colors, I made this one so it's not embroidered, and it wasn't always necessarily embroidered, they always left something like a fringe out, or like they embroidered up to a certain point and they missed out the last pattern. And patterns repeat, so it's pretty visible that one of the pieces of that pattern would be missing out. Or they left a few strings from their apron hanging or missing. The reason for that was so that evil won't be attracted, tempted, and also it's a reminder that human life is not perfect, that perfectionism is futile, it doesn't exist. And that's reality. We really stand for what's real, what's authentic. We don't want to waste our existence on trying to achieve things that can only waste our time. We want to be efficient, and really authenticity is efficiency. So take this. I hope that this can bring some inspiration. And if you have been caught up in the hustle and bustle and the rush of the modern day society, whether you are in the West or anywhere around the world, because really the Far East is unfortunately caught in that mindset nowadays. I call it the rat mindset. If you guys are caught into that kind of trap, it's never too late to get out of it. It's never too late to stop, truly smell the roses. If you need to smell the trees, smell the herbs, smell the earth, whatever you're smelling, smell the air, but literally stop and pay attention to your surroundings and remind yourself, bring to your attention the fact that you're not perfect and nobody else is, and perfectionism is impossible. So as a little reminder, since I mentioned that I did make this dress, the white dress for myself, it's full of mistakes. I do have a whole bunch of fringes around here, and I am super glad to be wearing it that way because it is my style, and it holds my spirit, and I have stitched it, and it is the way it is. Like no other seamstress, nor tailor, nor store, nor company can replicate this. And it's good. It's good enough. So I hope this finds you well, and I will continue with other videos in the near future. Thank you. Bye bye.